Hello guys, welcome to Lacus Farm. Today we'll be talking about the best time to feed your fishes in your farm. Now, when we talk about feeding on fish farm, feeding your fishes, the most important thing you look out for is the temperature. One, you don't feed your fishes when the temperature is very low. Second, you don't feed your fishes when the temperature is very high. Now, many people have been asking, then what is the best time? They ask these questions in order to suit in their workspace, because of some people don't have time. They go to work early morning and they want to make sure they fed their fish before leaving for work. That is why I'm doing this video, to give a clear picture on the best time for you to feed your fishes and get a good result. Now, the best time to feed your fishes in the morning is from 6 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m., and 9 a.m. By this time, the temperature is warm a bit. The temperature is not high and is not too low. The temperature is okay by this period of hours of the day. When you feed your fish this moment, you'll find out that your fish are going to be very active and they are going to rush the feed. They are going to eat to satisfaction. Basically, all the fishes in the pond are going to eat at this period. They are going to feed your fishes. Unlike when you feed your fish very early, like say 4 a.m., 5 a.m., no. Most of the fish will be dull and they will not rush the feed. Now, when you in the evening time, if you have fed your fish, let's say 6 a.m. or 7 a.m., the next hour you are going to feed your fish will be in the evening time. You don't feed your fish, it's not advisable for you to feed your fish from 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 1 p.m., 4 p.m., or 5 p.m. This is depending on your location and your weather. There are most places you will be, you find out that by 5 p.m., your weather is cool, your weather is calm, it's no longer too hot. Because if you feed your fish those times, you're not going to get results. They're not going to rush the feed like before. Now I'm going to show you a picture of how my fishes respond to feeding with this pattern. These fishes, we are being fed them. We are going to see how they feed, how they rush the feed, how they are jubilating. When you are getting to the pond, once you are reaching there, you find out the fish will start jubilating. They will start making some noise. At that spot you used to feed your fish, you find out that they are there. They're already hungry for feed. So I'm going to show you this video now. So you see, when your fish have gathered at their feeding spot, you will know that they are very, very eager to eat. They are very, very active. And when you feed your fish by this time, you are going to have a very amazing result. Now watch how these fish have gathered at their spot on sighting me to the pond. Watch. Okay, see how active they are. You see how they are jubilating. You see how they have opened their mouth. You see how they are at that spot. All of them, they have gathered on that spot. Now, once you start pouring feed now, you find out that they will start eating very, very healthy. They will eat and be satisfied. Now, next thing you should take into proper consideration when feeding your fish is its digestive period. How long does it take feed to digest? Now, it takes fish up to 10 to 12 hours to digest their feed. Once they are well fed, it takes them 10 to 12 hours. You now find out that when you feed, you check the interval you are feeding your fish so that you won't feed them wrongly. If you fed them by 6 a.m., you will now calculate what will be the next time to feed them. You find out that you feed by 6 a.m., the next time you're going to feed your fish is by 6 p.m. If you fed them by 7 a.m., the next time you have to feed your fish is by 7 p.m. If you have fed them by 8 a.m., the next time is by 8 p.m. Now, A lot of people have asked me, is it okay to feed their fishes in the night? Wow, that is an interesting question. They ask this question because a lot of people, due to their work and their businesses, they are not chanced. Some of them is by 5, 6, 7 that their business booms. Some might be on the traffic, they will get home very late, and feeding their fish, they will be having a double mind. If I feed this fish by this time, are they going to eat it? Yes, it's very, very okay to feed your fish in the night. In fact, in the night when the weather is very, very okay, you find out that with your torchlight, you will find out that your fish are active. And if you feed them by this time, well, you're going to get a very, very nice result as well. The most important thing in feeding is making sure you feed your fish to satisfaction. How do you know when your fishes are fed to satisfaction? If you are using a floating feed, you'll find out that as you are pouring the feed inside your pond, the fishes are rushing it. As you continue to pour the feed, they are rushing it, they are rushing it. You keep observing them. You find out that within 2 to 3 minutes, their rush has reduced. Their rush has reduced. They start picking the feed slowly. They start picking it slowly. It's no more with rush. Some start going back. At this point, many of them are satisfied. Now, the last feed you are going to pour inside the pond, you are going to watch it so that you make sure that when their speed has reduced, you reduce the way you pour in your feed inside the pond so that they are going to finish the whole feed. And once you have fed them like this, they will be very, very satisfied and no feed will remain in your pond. The excess of slowing down when their rush has reduced is for you not to have much feed floating in the water. Because if you leave the feed there, if you pour more and they were unable to finish the feed, when they decongest in your pond, they are going to pollute the water. And when they pollute the water in your pond automatically get contaminated, and before you know it, your fishes start dying. So that is the main reason why, as you are feeding your fish, you have to observe them to make sure that they finish the feed you have poured in the pond, so that you not waste your feed, because when you give them more, you are automatically wasting the feed. So next thing we're going to look at is feeding pattern. The feeding pattern is, how do you feed them? Do you just stand anywhere and throw the feed for them, or do you stand? No. The feeding pattern is maintained. When you go to your pond, you have a station. Your pond has 4 corners. Yes, you might have to be in the center, pouring the food for them. When you are pouring the food for them in the center of the pond or in a one corner of the pond, you find out that when you have used this pattern for like 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you find out that the fish automatically become used to that particular corner you normally stay to feed them. Immediately are coming inside your farm, going towards the pond area with their feed or without their feed, you'll find out that the fishes are very, very sensitive. And once they perceive you in the farm, they start rushing to that corner that you normally stay to feed them. So that pattern is very, very okay. You don't apply irregular pattern. Irregular pattern is when you stay this corner today to feed them, next tomorrow you stay this corner, the next day you stay another corner. The fish will not be properly stationed in the place to eat. And with this method, you will not be able to detect when your fishes are not responding to feeding. But when you are using a station corner in your pond and staying there and feed your fish, you find out that once you are getting close to the pond, they have already stationed there, waiting for you to start feeding them. And when this reduces, when you come to the pond and the fishes are not gathered as usual, you know there is something wrong. Then you give a close observation as you are feeding your fish, so that you'll be able to know whether the fishes are actually okay or they have been infected. Because when the fishes are infected, the first sign is that they start feeding redundantly. They start feeding sluggishly. They no longer rush feed. You spread the feed on the inside the pond. They will look at it once we come up to eat. So Feeding in a stationed area of the pond help you to know the behavior of your fishes. So that is it on fish feeding. The best time to feed your fish, like I've said, is when the weather is not too hot and the weather is not too cold. And the interval to feed your fish is interval of 10 to 12 hours. That is when the one they have been fed with have already digested. When you feed your fishes very well and you maintain this approach, you are going to have a very, very amazing and interesting result at the end of the day. So it is very, very well for you to take into consideration 3 things. One is this: station in a particular corner of your pond while feeding your fishes. It helps you to observe the behavior of your fishes in those ponds. Second thing is to make sure you maintain interval of 10 to 12 hours while feeding your fishes. The third thing is that you feed your fishes when the temperature is very, very okay. When the temperature is moderate, you don't feed them when the temperature is high, when the temperature is very low. This does not mean that you cannot get results when you feed them another way around. But the best approach is what I've told you. All these fishes behave somehow like humans. You find out that when you are eating under the sun, you don't enjoy that meal. But when you feed in a nice, quiet, cool area, you find out that you enjoy your meal. That is something with fish farming. So I hope this helps someone. And if you find this content interesting and educative, please kindly like, share, and comment. Thank you.